They made mothers watch their babies sold away. They stripped human beings naked in public squares. They checked teeth like horses, felt muscles like livestock, examined bodies with no mercy. For 246 years, this was legal American commerce. And if you think you can handle the truth about what really happened on those auction blocks, you need to hear this. 1619 to 1865. Every major American city had them. Richmond, Charleston, Savannah, New Orleans. Public squares where human beings stood on wooden platforms while crowds of white men decided their worth in dollars. Here's what the first-hand accounts tell us. According to 19th century slave narratives documented by the National Humanities Center, buyers pulled mouths open to see teeth, pinched limbs to find how muscular they were, walked them up and down to detect lameness, made them stoop and bend in different ways to check for concealed ruptures or wounds. Enslaved people were stripped naked, completely. Historian Walter Johnson's research in Soul by Soul documents that buyers would thumb their way into slaves' mouths and examine every part of the body in succession, not even accepting the breasts of girls. Skin was inspected for whipping scars, because scars meant trouble, a person who resisted. Women's pelvic areas were examined to determine childbearing potential. According to auction records from the Weeping Time, the largest slave auction in American history, a buyer rejected a woman named Sally because it's been 5 years since she had any children. She's done breeding. Children as young as 12 months old were listed in auction catalogs. 20-month-old Henry, 3-year-old Dido, sold with her parents. 30 infants torn from mother's arms during the Weeping Time alone. A formerly enslaved man named Josiah Henson described his own auction. The examination of muscle, teeth, the exhibition of agility, the look of the auctioneer, the agony of my mother. I can shut my eyes and see them all. My brothers and sisters were bid off first, one by one, while my mother, paralyzed by grief, held me by the hand. When his mother's turn came, she was sold to one man. Then Henson was offered. His mother, pushed through the crowd while the bidding for me was going on, fell at the buyer's feet and clung to his knees, entreating him in tones that a mother only could command to buy her baby as well as herself. He refused. According to Henson's testimony, the man was capable not merely of turning a deaf ear to her supplication, but of disengaging himself from her with such violence and trampling upon her with such brutality. Between 1820 and 1860, according to National Museum of African American History documentation, approximately 1 million enslaved people were forcibly separated from their families and sold to the Deep South. 1 million families destroyed by commerce. But here's what the auction records also show: resistance. A woman named Daphne wrapped herself in a blanket during inspection, refusing to let buyers examine her body. Bidders yelled, "What do you keep your nab covered up for?" She kept that blanket on. A woman named Molly insisted her left foot was lame. The auctioneer brought in a physician who said she was faking. They made her run up and down stairs, walk back and forth. She kept limping, sold for $695 instead of full price. Whether she was truly lame, the historical account notes, no one knows but herself. But to a slave, anything that decreases market value is a thing to be rejoiced over. An enslaved woman named Bethany Veeney was taken to Richmond to be sold. According to Encyclopedia Virginia records, she feigned sickness on the auction block and foiled the sale. Even in absolute degradation, they fought. They protected their children when they could. They sabotaged sales. They maintained dignity while being treated as merchandise. Slave auctions weren't just economic transactions. According to historical documentation, they were designed to be public spectacles of domination, to show enslaved people and free black people alike what white supremacy meant in practice. The psychological warfare was intentional. The humiliation was the point. The family separations were profitable. By 1860, the domestic slave trade had become a multi-million-dollar industry. Enslaved people were Virginia's most valuable export. Richmond's slave jails, documented in historical records, held people for weeks in pens before auctions, all sexes and ages, huddled together in a mass. This wasn't ancient history. This was America. This was legal. This was protected by law, defended by churches, normalized by society. And it took a civil war to end it. If this history makes you uncomfortable, good. It should. That discomfort is a fraction of what our ancestors endured. Comment below if you learned something you weren't taught in school. Share this if you believe we honor their memory by telling the truth, not the sanitized version, but the real story of what they survived. And follow if you're ready for more history that refuses to look away from what America was built on.